Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this month's Dragonfly Community Catch-Up with your host, me, Laura Tchaikovsky, my co-host, Joe, and our guest, Kostas, here from Dragonfly. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. So welcome. As you'll see this month, we've actually changed our name to Community Catch-Up. I'm going to make this nice and informal, a great way for you to engage and chat with us, and a chance for you to collaborate and connect and meet one another. So going forward each month, we'd love to have different guest members join us. If you would like to join the stream, please just drop me an email, laura@dragonflydb.io, or you can just drop me a message on Discord or our Discourse channels that you can find the details on our site. We're always looking for people who want to share their stories on Dragonfly, what they've been using, what they've built, and any experiences that they've been using Dragonfly. So that's kind of like what this kind of show is going to be about going forward. And each month we're going to have guest speakers, be it from the Dragonfly engineering team or our Dragonfly community. So to kick today off, we're going to go through some topics that we're going to cover today. So this month, we want to give a shout out to our community contributor of the month, what's happening in the Dragonfly community. So as a new piece of information, we have just launched our Dragonfly community sign-up page. So if you go to dragonflydb.io/community, you fill in that small little box, you're going to be hearing from exclusive resources from the Dragonfly engineers each month. We'll give you tips and tricks and give you access to exclusive swag and opportunities to win tickets to any events that we're going to be taking part with over the course of the coming months. And also this month you get to hear, as I mentioned, from Costi, who's going to be talking about the integration with Ruidus. And I'm hoping that I pronounced that correctly. And if not, Costa can explain that to us again in a second. The other one I want to talk to you about is if you would like an opportunity to win some Dragonfly stickers, because I know people like to put stickers on their laptops. I know I do myself. All you have to simply do is download Dragonfly, take a screen capture of the CLI running installed on your machine, and just drop me an email and fill in that form. And you can find those details at the end of this call. And again, I'll put it at the link at the end of the show as well. So I'd like to hand over to Joe right now for him to tell us a little bit about himself, because you've obviously all met Joe on previous Hangouts. He's run a bunch of workshops, but did you know how Joe got involved in Dragonfly? So Joe, over to yourself.
Well, thank you, Laura. So yeah, hi everyone, I'm Joe, and as Laura said, I hope many of you, know me, that I work at Dragonfly as the developer advocate. It's a little bit awkward to have the slides here while I'm talking, so maybe see if I can switch to just me. How do I? Oh, okay, cool. Like solo there. Okay, yeah. So, right. So I've been asked this question even during one of those in-person events in Toronto as well, like how I end up with being here, right? So I am a backend developer, and I've been doing that for a long while, and doing cloud operations using traditional databases, caching layers like Redis, Dragonfly, MQs, right? So I'm rather familiar with all those technologies, and one day I just feel like I'm a little bit tired of doing application development. Not that it's bad, it's just like, I just realized myself that I'm so into database storage systems, right? So I kind of want to give it a shot. So I reach out to Roman, the creator of Dragonfly, also the CTO of Dragonfly DB, the company. I reach out to Roman directly on LinkedIn. So I encourage you to, do that nowadays if you want to, have a dream role. Yeah, so basically I said, yo, I do backend development, and I know a lot of things about databases, but I'm not able to write databases like, Costas can. Because to me, I think that's a different world. It's very hard. It's very complicated to actually to build the database instead of using it, right? So that's where I'm coming from. But as a backend application developer, I think I'm quite confident of what I'm doing, and I know some of the Redis internals very well as well. That helps me, with the whole process, right? So yeah, basically I am from the community, and I realized that I like storage and caching databases in general. I want to be in this industry, right? So that's how I got the chance. So after joining Dragonfly, I've been mostly working on things like hosting webinars like this or community catch-ups like this, writing tech blogs, try to enhance the documentation here and there. So, but also one day I noticed something in our code base, right? So Dragonfly, Dragonfly is compatible with Redis. And let me find out the slide as well. Yeah, it is compatible with Redis, but it's also built by human beings, right? So sometimes there are like small, tiny discrepancies in terms of the response. So I saw that, and I was like, okay, let me give a shot, even though I'm no C++ expert. And as I said, I think building database is extremely hard. For me as an application developer, I still decided to. It's not like a huge amount of changes. Mostly some sort of string changes, and I can follow the patterns in the code as well, right? And funny enough, the Costas is also in charge of this ACO part. So I was a little bit hesitating. So I approached Costas very carefully, like, can I make this change? Surprisingly, everybody, like including Costas, like everybody in this Dragonfly engineering community is very open-minded. And, I know it's a good thing to do. Costas knows it's a good thing to do, even though it's yeah. So that's how I end up with like contributing the first non-markdown PR to Dragonfly, the core repo, which personally I'm very proud of. So yeah, so I encourage community members to do that, because that's my story. I don't think I don't consider it something as a role model story, but it's a valuable and fun story for me as part of my life. So yeah, so that's why I encourage if you use Redis, if you use in-memory data store, I think everybody kind of does. It's such a crucial component, in the backend system nowadays, right? So yeah, and if you're interested in Dragonfly, try it out. And if you're interested in contributing, I realized that documentation, README, the Python test scripts, all those count as contributions, right? Not just the the hardcore C++ code. So yeah, I hope you find this interesting, and yeah, please definitely find a ways to oh, and another thing is that I like, it's a observation of me recently, right? Like, think in the past decade or so, the IT industry, especially software development, right? It's quite standard in terms of the interview process. If you can do lead code very well, then you can probably get a very good job in one of the bigger companies, or medium ones, or whatever, right? But nowadays, because the world is moving, we have AI, we have everything, right? So I personally consider practical experiences like this, is more valuable. So, find maybe interesting libraries, projects that you use every day, and try to do a practical contribution there. I think personally, maybe not the better way, but it's a different way. It's another way, to build up your profile, as well as the actual skill as well. Cool. That's it for me. So thank you for listening. And
So just on that, like, was it your first experience using open source projects? And had you done this kind of stuff before? And what was the experience for you? Has it made a difference in your career? Were you currently looking at becoming a developer advocate before this, or has it opened up a whole new career path for you by contributing and obviously joining us in Dragonfly?
Right. I think so. To be honest with you, all my parents and friends are kind of happy for me, because they see a lifestyle change-ish. I'm a developer. I was very nerdy and staying at home every day. I like that, but if you like it, there's no problem, right? It's totally okay. Do that, but having this opportunity as a dev role, it encouraged me to travel more than I do before, right? So it's a different opportunity. So I see this whole thing very differently. Like this role is still very technical. I'm probably not coding for production server code every day now, but it's never wasting my experience and technical skills that I accumulated before. And in the meantime, it gives me a different perspective, as a role. Like I get to talk more. If you're totally not comfortable, that's okay. Me, I'm 100% introvert, right? So, but I also, in the meantime, I find it interesting. I'm kind of not forced to do that, but along the journey, I think I like it more as well for traveling, speaking, and everything. Yeah.
I think you bring up a really good, interesting point though as well, because getting involved in open source projects, you never really know where your journey is going to take you, be it directly or indirectly. I got my involvement many years ago, being involved in the Ubuntu community and getting involved in running the open source community back home in Dublin. And eventually I did join actually Canonical, but I didn't expect at the time, from being involved in Ubuntu in Ireland to eventually working on Launchpad. So, nobody really knows where their journey is going to take them. And I think that's the great thing about submitting potentially PRs, be it for docs, for language, for translations, or for code, because obviously with a community, you're not just limited to code. We obviously do welcome contributions for our docs, for example. And also, like, I know yourself, you've been heavily involved in writing it in Chinese as well. So like, we obviously want to have more wider adoption across different countries and different cultures and different languages. So, we want to make sure that people feel welcome, and obviously having a good experience has led you to like getting more involved and obviously joining us. I hope that down the line we get more contributions that will eventually, like, as we get bigger as an organization, look to pull from the community members. So just don't forget that going forward is that there's potentially an opportunity to come join Dragonfly DB in the future.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's very well said. Thank you, Laura.
Cool.
Yeah, just to be clear, I didn't really explain, but in this slide, the highlighted one, the ACO one, was my contribution. I realized that I have a different GitHub name, but yeah, but
That's
that
okay.
was, yeah, I guess that matches the story. Cool.
Nice. But that does bring us on to our top contributor of the month. So each month we like to reward our community members that have gone above and beyond being involved in Dragonfly. Again, not just through code. I want to be very clear on that. We want to make sure people feel rewarded for taking part in their contribution. Again, we have a lot of active people on our Discord channel. We love to have conversations happening in there. I know that we've had contributions this week to the Helm GitHub repo within Dragonfly. We've had contributions from our members for fixing up some docs. But more importantly, this month we have had a new who has contributed through a blog post. And perhaps, Joe, you can tell us a little bit more about the work, because you've been reviewing that blog post. And then hopefully, potentially next month, a new might be able to join us on this month's call as well.
Right. Sounds good. So I just posted a link in the comment section. I hope that's the right place. Yeah, so Dragonfly has a program called the Creo program, which, if you're using Dragonfly, if you build anything interested, if you're experiencing something, maybe even a bug, and, you debug it, and, that the team knows, stuff like that, anything, you're welcome to write for Dragonfly as a guest writer, and we're gonna work together, and we're gonna eventually publish your blog post on our site as well. So yeah, that's the story behind it. And Anu Singh, he is the first submitter of the Dragonfly Creo program. Yeah, so we will be publishing so I'm gonna tease it a little bit, but he built a very interesting app using frameworks that in Go. I like Go. I code in Go a lot, but a framework in Go that I'm not aware of, and it's so easy and interesting to build a terminal-based app using that framework. and of course, it's the story part is backed by Dragonfly. So yeah, it's I looked at the code and the article that Anu wrote. It's quite amazing, and yeah, we're just finishing some like final touches before we actually publish it. So yeah, and Anu's social media links are down here. I'm pretty sure if you search for Anu Singh or Anu Code, you will be able to find him. Otherwise, please take a screenshot here and yeah, be part of the community and keep in touch with everyone in the community, please. Cool. Yeah, that's the top community contributor update of last month. And over to Kostas with the new exciting updates, please.
Yep. Hi, everyone. Very excited to be here. Kostas, part of the Dragonfly DB core. And before I talk a little bit about the upcoming changes and the announcement about the re-IDs, I would like to jump back a little bit. Excuse me, sorry for that. I would like to jump back a little bit on what Joe said before about contributing in Dragonfly. And I would like to say that it's every contribution matters for us, right? And even if it's a small thing like the README file, like Joe said, it's very important because you are becoming a part of the community. And not only that, we are humans as well. We don't always have the time to address all of the issues, and sometimes certain issues can be addressed by the community as well. And we improve the product exponentially by having people outside of the company being part of our effort to build the best product out there. Now going back to Ruiadis, I would like to say a few things. First and foremost, we now support the library fully. In the past, we had client tracking, but it required on our side certain improvements. And notably, the first one was mostly about tracking internally used multiple hops. And this is something that you probably you need. It's a little bit esoteric. Hops have to do with how our transactional layer is implemented in Dragonfly. But the first optimization that we did was to reduce the amount of hops that is required for client tracking. So the latency reduces significantly on our clients. And the other part is basically to allow fine-grained control over which keys are being tracked. What that means is client tracking offers client tracking opt-in and opt-out, and basically these two commands essentially say, hey, the next, if I decide to use client tracking opt-in and then I say client casting yes, then basically the next read command I'm about to issue is gonna get tracked for me. And the opt-out is the exact opposite of that thing, meaning that by default you track all of the keys, and then you explicitly say, hey, the next key that I want to read, I don't want to track it. And these are both used internally, but by Ruiadis. And the reason for that is distributed logs mainly. And why do we need all of those fine-grained controls? And the answer for that is we want to avoid active polling from the clients to the database. And why is that? Because you can't really know how often, at what kind of intervals you need to poll to realize that a key has changed in the database. It could happen in an hour, or it could happen every couple of milliseconds, and it puts a lot of stress on the client side code to continuously polling until something changes. Whereas with client tracking, you get notifications for changes right away, and then right at the spot when something changed. So yeah, and there's also one more thing, the no loop, which basically it says that do not send notifications on the keys modified by the same connection. And you might be asking, why do I want to do that? Well, if you're modifying the key, you first can know what the value will be. So why would you want the database to send you a notification for something you've already know, right? So it's even more optimized for these kind of use cases. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy the latest changes. I hope that you get a chance to try Rui this, and I'm looking for your feedback. If you find any issues, yeah, please submit an issue on GitHub. We do our best to respond as fast as possible and address any of the issues that come up. As I said, we're not perfect, so make some issue, find some issues first, then submit them, and who knows, maybe it's something that you want to fix as well. And if you do, submit a PR, and I'll review it for you, and I'll be very happy to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much on my side. And yeah, I guess we're going back to Laura.
Thanks, Gustav. And I've actually just put the link. You've just written a blog post as well, which goes into more details about this as well, that people can read. And again, if you have any questions or you do have some feedback for Kostas, if you want to join us in the Discord channel for a conversation regarding this, we'd love to have some feedback. And again, if you have any thoughts or PRs are welcome, as Kostas has said. But yeah, I think that's kind of what we're covering today, really. If you do have any other questions or you want to engage with us, please do join us on Discord. That hopefully if you click on that QR code, you'll join us there. But more importantly, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the call, please do join the Dragonfly community by going to dragonflydb.io/community. We'd love to have you join us and have the opportunity to talk to you some more and give you some access to exclusive content that we're creating over the coming weeks, and have some opportunity to talk to the one-on-one with the engineers in Dragonfly. And we do have some raffles and prizes coming up over the coming weeks and months ahead as we're coming into conference season. That could be an opportunity to meet us at some of these events, or an opportunity to win one of our raffle tickets to attend these events with us. So with that being said, thank you very much to Joe and to Kostas here today to join us. We look forward to seeing you next month on the community update. But thank you very much for everybody who's joined today, and we look forward to seeing you again.